A while I've been on this channel and I just wanted to drop a quick one. This video isn't going to be that long, but I just wanted to talk about BARD and ChatGPT for developers. AI has been a really hot topic these days. A lot of people are talking about, could ChatGPT replace your work? Could ChatGPT kick you off the market? Would developers still be coding in the next 5 years? A lot of questions have been raised. But right now, I want to tell you this. The only people who are going to be losing their job are those who do not adopt AI into their workflow. As it is right now, AI is rapidly improving, new things are coming up, different innovations are being brought up. But how can you now integrate this into your work as a software developer? That's what we're going to be covering in this video. And I have 4 points that I personally use because I do make use of AI a lot these days, and it has been very helpful to my work because I get to do a lot of stuff I know I would have suffered before, maybe on different things, but especially. So let's get over to the first point, debugging. Before the dawn of AI, one very important method people use to debug these days is Stack Overflow, and as much as the internet, searching all over, doing your research to figure out what exactly is wrong with your code. So when you encounter a bug, the first thing is you're always confused. You do not know where to start from. And if you try checking your code and you can't find, you suddenly go to the internet. One method I normally do before is to simply go over to Google and paste exactly what is going on, or maybe an error I get or something essentially. So I could just say something like error. Okay, let's see this. This was an error I got yesterday or so. Good. I get several recommendations telling me, okay, go over to Stack Overflow. You normally answers are over at Stack Overflow. You could see a very great answer. But as it is right now, with the dawn of AI, all I can simply do is to go over here and copy out the error, head over to ChatGPT and paste it for him, and it's going to look at it, and actually instead of it giving me several resources, it's going to break it down to one thing. It's going to break it down to just a direct message. So it reduces the amount of time it takes me to debug my code by simply making use of AI. And now some of you might be thinking here I'm trying to compare BARD and ChatGPT, because BARD is relatively new compared to ChatGPT and it's even experimental at the moment. But trust me, one thing I do believe in is that these are all tools. You see people comparing ChatGPT, comparing BARD, and say, okay, which is better, which is faster. These are all tools. You make use of them in your workflow and become even better. Rather than seeing someone criticizing BARD and the other person criticizing ChatGPT, saying, oh, this is better or this one is better. Forget about that. Be neutral. Make use of both of them. If you know one is going to help you get your results faster, make use of it. If the other one is going to help you, make use of it. Do not be someone who is going to say, oh, this doesn't do this, so I hate it. Trust me, they both work. So, like I was saying, ChatGPT is going to give me a direct answer. So instead of me going to different places, I have a straight up point I could go to. As you can see from my chat history, I use ChatGPT a lot. React Native, every type of project I use. Sometimes even in WordPress, Elementor related. If for those familiar with WordPress, I do make use of ChatGPT a lot. And I even went ahead to subscribe to the Pro plan so I could make use of ChatGPT 4 also. And yeah, it's been a pretty amazing experience. And also with BARD, I recently started using BARD, and a lot of things like BARD is also, yeah, it's in experimental mode, but I feel Google has taken BARD to a great level. And yeah, so whenever you are making use of AI or whenever you encounter a problem while you're using it's you can make use of AI to be able to understand that problem better and even get a solution to it. So you do not have to bother about going to search the whole internet to be able to find your answer. You could simply go over and to ChatGPT or BARD. You can access BARD by using bard.google.com, and you get your answers real quick. Though recently I've noticed sometimes ChatGPT might give you wrong answers. It does happen, it's still learning. So yeah, whenever I get something like that, you can switch over to BARD or go over to your native method, because the other day I searched like 4 or 5 times and it gave me completely wrong answers. And yeah, I won't criticize AI. I just tell myself it's learning. I also need to learn, and I go back to my previous method. I can do without AI and I can even do better with AI. So, getting latest information. Well, when it comes to ChatGPT and BARD, getting latest information is it's quite much more better to use BARD because I think ChatGPT, from what they mentioned, ChatGPT stopped at what's the name? It stops at September 12th. That's the free version. I don't know whether they've, according to here, I'm seeing ChatGPT May 12. Maybe they've increased it for those on the paid plan. So as you can see, it may produce inaccurate information. So if you want to get latest information, using ChatGPT might not be the best option to use. You could try to search. It will give you a response. It could tell you that, hey, I'm not actually up to date on this kind of information. It could just give you an information based on what they can get. It's AI. It could generate information. It's intelligent also. So, but BARD actually is connected to the activities of the internet. It gets information on daily days, constantly processing and giving you information. And one thing I always use BARD and ChatGPT for is research, which is my third point. So research. So for example, maybe you are working on an open source project or you're looking to get something new. For example, this open source project I'm currently working on, I'm currently contributing to, sorry. I asked ChatGPT. I think I just asked it so I could use it as a demonstration. Yes, so I did ask him what CLI library was used in this project. Though ChatGPT and BARD don't give me wrong answers, but I understand they're still learning. Who knows whether it's still related in some ways and some other things. And I also asked him what is, and I sent him I sent ChatGPT by him. I don't know if I signed it, but I view ChatGPT as a person. That's the way I view it. You could give it a view of anything that you want. That's your own, this is my own view of things. So yeah, it actually broke down the project. It gave me everything. It showed me what the repository contains. It contains different things. Though ChatGPT was a bit vague for me, I kind of have experience working with the full project, so it was a bit vague there. But yeah, I don't really have much problems with that. I also asked BARD to give me some summary about the project. It did tell me everything about it. It helps you manage your application state. It's a simple and secure way to store and encrypt your secrets. So envless, like it says env, if you're familiar with working with environmental variables, you could have issues along the way, but envless just helps you to encrypt them so you don't get hacked and all those kind of things when you have a live project. And so it did mention some things about envless which were actually correct. Talked about the security, the simplicity, and it's even easy to integrate. So yeah, it's great for research. And about getting latest information, I do also notice that BARD, right? BARD actually has access to more things than ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT is a bit having old information and so on, but yeah, it still works well. So I posted an article on Medium. So I have this article on Medium which is talking about mastering clean React code, clean React, where you could optimize your code better to work well. So I now asked ChatGPT, who is the writer of this article and what are the main points. So it didn't really have direct access to the website, but it did give me some information based, kind of got some information based on the title, and it did write some things, not exactly what was in the article, but yeah. And when I actually asked BARD, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I did ask BARD. Okay, yeah. So I asked BARD, and as you can see, it brought up my name, Augustine Eze. It's mentioned even my description. BARD, like I said, BARD has access to a lot of data. Literally, you actually have to sign into your Google account to be able to make use of BARD. I do not know whether Google makes use of that data. I've not really done much of my research on that aspect, but it did break down some things, though it didn't give me the exact stuff I wrote there because I wrote in more information. But for it to have actually gotten my name and actually some information I had given in my profile description, yeah, I felt it actually had access to it. But probably you're still learning, but it's in experimental mode. And as you can see, Google even says it may be inaccurate or even display offensive information. I think I've experienced when it displayed an offensive information. And I was like, it's AI. It's learning every day. So yeah, we shouldn't be bothered about that. Just keep on improving, and if you notice something is different, always have a backup plan. And then the last one is code generation. Code generation. This is actually something that I recently love because personally in my workflow, I do prefer working from something that already exists. I do build from scratch sometimes, but sometimes the work has already been done or the work can be done faster with AI. So why start from scratch every single time? So you could tell ChatGPT or BARD to generate a scaffold or a template code for you to start out something. For example, let's say you're working on a profile. I did ask ChatGPT. That's one of the first thing I searched. So I asked him to generate a sample code. I did um, generate the HTML to show a card display to display. Sorry, that was a grammatical error. A user information. Show the user image, the name, and the designation. Use this for the image. So this is a random image generator, and it gave me exactly what I needed. So it did give me some information. I also asked BARD for the same thing, which I asked him to do the same thing. And BARD actually organized it into HTML, CSS for me exactly. You could also use this to generate JavaScript, any sort of programming related stuff. But yeah, like Google actually gave a description on this, mentioning that if you're using BARD for coding, it might not give you every single thing that you need, and the code that you get may also be subjected to open source license and some other things that are involved. So it could help you with coding, but you should actually review it. Sometimes it might give you a code that is wrong. It might also give you code that might not be that performance wise. So you also are the developer. Don't just copy blindly. Even from my moments of starting as a developer to when I was using Stack Overflow a lot, I still use Stack Overflow, but majorly now with ChatGPT since it's a bit more direct and it could gather a lot of resources and make the right decision from all of them. So you don't copy code blindly. When you copy, do make sure to review it so that you do not copy wrong information or copy something that could end up giving you much more problems in future. You review it and make use of it. So I did put the code into a code pen. I think this was from BARD. Yep, the one that displayed only one, I remember exactly. So I just added it and I added it in a HTML tag and displayed it. So this was how BARD actually returned the information for me back after I did it. It gave me this card, and this is fine. This is fine. So I also noticed that BARD, when it comes to code generation, not really all that good, but it's still learning. It's still in experimental mode. ChatGPT has already been published, so I think Google would optimize it as time goes on so that it actually does better. And I feel definitely in the next 1 year they are going to be revolutionary. AI is growing each and every single day. I think one more AI that was brought out. I think Bing also has an AI. Everybody's coming up with AI. I think in the next 10 years, we're actually going to work more better. So start adopting AI into your work. So the next one that was generated, this was by ChatGPT. And as you can see, this looks okay. It might not be exactly what you're looking for. You could actually even specify much more information, or if you built out a card, like I asked it to, if you built out a card, which is also something I do, you could ask ChatGPT, make this better, or ask BARD, make this better, and it's actually going to take your code and actually transform it into something even better, or to add something to make the code maybe more usable or something like that. So yeah, for front-end developers, you could actually do usability stuff with what's it called, with ChatGPT, and as well as BARD. You could put in the code there and ask it, hey, make this code usable. What information do you need from me? And that leads me up to one more thing. Though I think this is how we'll sum up this entire video. You should as well get better at prompting ChatGPT or BARD. I think one thing about AI is that based on how specific the information you ask from it, it's going to actually give you back. If you give it a vague information, it's going to give you back a vague response. So you need to understand how to prompt it. Sometimes I start out my text with something like, hey, you are an experienced front-end developer, front-end web developer. That's to tell ChatGPT or BARD in this case that, yeah, I expect you are a front-end developer and you already know all of this, so it begins to adjust itself. And there are a lot of things about prompting. I'm not an expert at that, but I think I'm also learning every day to improve my workflow. ChatGPT has been great. BARD is also very, very great. They are all tools. Remember, I said do not really focus on which one is better. You could decide to make use of any of them, whichever one works for you. I've been in situations that ChatGPT didn't really solve that particular bug. When I brought it to BARD, BARD actually gave me an information that was critical to me solving that bug quickly. And yeah, keep on making use of it. I believe those who don't adopt AI into their workflow will be the one who will suffer from this revolution in the long term. And as a software developer, you are always in need. In fact, software developers are the one who develop AI on their own, and AI hasn't gotten to the point it could start writing accurate code or even code that works well. It still needs human intervention. So that's all for this video. I think, yeah, see you guys next one.